got next.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to season 2 of the Street Fighter I Got Next community podcast discussion group. What's going on, y'all? It's your host with the most, the man without the RSF plan. It's your boy ShadowAce on the mic, and I will be the moderator for the podcast this evening, joined by my co-host on production, always making sure the vibes are smooth, the mayor of making himself, SirRetro. And of course, as tradition, I want to first thank SirRetro for agreeing to host this discussion. The reason I have assembled you all here this evening is to get your views and opinions on the Street Fighter, the Street Fighter scene, and an opportunity to discuss how you feel about the game in general. So, the game has been out for about 7 years now, meaning Street Fighter Five. I'm talking about, and that's quite a long time. For the next installment drops, which is in about a month. So each of you may hold different views and opinions towards the game and the community in general. And this platform is just an opportunity to express yourself in a constructive manner. Let's start off first by introducing our panel for this evening. I'll go first. Shadow Ace, do commentating, podcaster, the bracket running, TO player, a man of many hats here in the FGC scene. And just all around trying to make sure things get happen. Things happen out here. So, again, thank you, Sir Retro, for agreeing to do this with me, and we're gonna have a good episode today. Speaking of Sir Retro, talk to the good people.
Hey, what is going on, everyone? I am SirRetro. I'm the other half of the I Got Next podcast series, alongside ShadowAce, producer, and for those who don't know, Miller, Georgia, TO, head TO, Reboot, Retrocade Gaming, Swag Out Nerds, part of that whole community, and also mainly play Street Fighter. Big fighting game enthusiast, so I do also play a variety of the games. Of course, G main for Street Fighter Five, and for looking forward to trying out JP Street Fighter Six. But also, I'm kind of disappointed because for what I thought where we're gonna have our next guest coming from, and for what I heard they kind of represent, I thought it would be something international. I was packing my bags. I was trying to get my suitcase together, everything. I
The
thought,
name you talk about the Barcelona.
yeah. So,
He
so
thought that's what we was going to.
yeah. Boy, man, I was like, gonna get some good food, everything. But it's cool though, cause it's not about us. It's not about me trying to pack up, trying to go somewhere. Well, we are. But about the Barcelona group, tell me, who is this person that we have as a special guest, though? Even though not
Y-
Barcelona.
Yeah, we originally we had two members of the Barcelona group that was going to join us today. Fortunately, one of them could not make it. By the name of God Killer, he couldn't join us in, but we got DivineOne stepping up to the plate. DivineOne, yo, talk to the good people. Introduce yourself.
Yer. Yo, so it's Divine One, aka Phantom Angel, aka Phantom SRK, aka the Prince of Paws, by way of Yonkers, New York. Whoever knows me. Whoever don't, you about to find out. Of course, fighting game enthusiast. One of the horsemen of Barcelona. About to find out what that is too. Don't get spicy in here. Let me just say that real quick. But just love fighting games. I play whatever. Always with the smoke. Ace knows that. But yeah,
Very competitive, nature that you got there, man. Unfortunately, again, we couldn't get your second half, your what is it, your Sasuke to your Naruto. We couldn't get your rival in here to discuss that because it would have been definitely some funny, interesting moments between you two. But we'll make do with what we got today. So, once again, thank you all for joining us today for episode 7 of this new season. We're trying something new. We're filling out the Google document instead of having a DM coordinate with so many people. But if we got to do it, we'll do it. This is season 2, so if you missed out on the previous episodes, you can always go back and check them out on Reboot Retrocade Gaming's YouTube channel for that season 1 and season 2 playlists for the full episodes there. And I also have it pinned on my Twitter page as well for that link. We travel around to various different spots and regions, talking to different people, get their takes on what they feel about the game and how the future's about to look. And this today's no exception. We're stopping in New York, and we're about to talk to some Divine One, man. So we mentioned, SirRetro mentioned, Barcelona. We thought he thought he was going international on this. He's about to get his passport and all. You know what I mean? Get the bags packed. But this is Barcelona is actually the group. The name of the group, man. What is Barcelona?
all right, so I mean, in a sense, you can say Barcelona is international. We do have members from all over the globe. We got people in the UK, people in Sweden, people all over the US. So the influence does stretch pretty far. But just basically, Barcelona is an offshoot of the Shoryuken forums. It's a group of us who know each other from there. After the disestablishment of the
Mm-hmm.
forums, there were a lot of attempts to keep it going in different ways, different websites. You have Megashock and a couple others, just trying to keep that whole feeling going because
Mm-hmm.
SRK was a pillar of the FGC for a long time. They were behind Evo and all. Um, but the forum kind of you know idea just died. A lot of other forums kind of went down along with it, and that's when the transition kind of went to Discord. We had a bunch of different SRK based servers on Discord as well. Um, Eventually, like a bunch of us who knew each other from like specific threads on SRK, like the lounge or wherever, if you know,
Mm-hmm.
you know. We decided to just make our own group for like the fourth time, and then eventually this one just stuck. As far as the name Barcelona, another SRK veteran, the Epidemic, his favorite character is Vega, and we know where Vega's from. If you're a fighting game enthusiast, you should. Um, so when he created the server, he decided to name it after the origin of his favorite character. So that's how we came up with Barcelona. Pretty simple origin. Nothing too crazy. We're not out there in Spain, but depending on how things go with Street Fighter 6 with that 1 million, I don't know. One of us grabs that, we might be out there. We'll see.
Hey, you already got the name suited up for it, man. The Barcelona group, and if somebody wanted to try to get in on this group, that's I think that would be what a discussion. That has to be something exclusive, right? Not anybody can just walk through the doors to get in there. There's gotta be a little something before they try to get their foot in the door. Is that correct?
Yeah, in a sense, because the group was again the way it started out, it was just like a close knit group of like-minded people from SRK.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of people who joined, and it was always open for everyone to join, were from SRK.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but however, going into like the new season of fighting games with Tekken 8, Street Fighter 6, we host our own tournaments and events, which we're gonna get into that eventually as well. We're starting to open up the group a little bit more for everybody. So like when we do start going live with more things, the link to the Discord will be available. Now it
Okay.
is open, but not everybody. I'm gonna tell you right now, not everybody can fit in Barcelona. It's like you gotta be ready for the smoke.
Okay.
We settle all disagreements with fighting game sets, straight like that. We ain't gonna be in the chat arguing about a bunch of nonsense. We don't care what the argument is about. It's settled in fighting games. Simple as that.
So actions speak louder than words. Stop all that talking. That's
100%.
that's there it is. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's what's up, man. Not too, pretty tame there for a group. Again, that information will be available at a later date. But for right now, everything's pretty much under construction on there. But before we, before we dive to the future, I want to talk about before we get to the future of Street Fighter 6. We got to go to the past, man. We got to start back at what was your first exposure to fighting games?
Mine. I'll probably say so. My mom had a family friend, my little sister's godmother, who had a NES. So every now and again, we go over to her house, wasn't far from ours, and we play on the NES. A couple of different games, but I was always drawn to, of course, Street Fighter 2. I couldn't really do the motions, so when I did get like a fireball to come out or something like that, it was an amazing experience for me. And I think that was the beginning of like my love for fighting games. And as I got older, I kept running into more and more family friends or cousins or whoever they were, that just exposed me to more and more fighters. They just kept on following me, and the more I played them,
Hmm.
the more I loved them. So
Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. And then, as far as, do you remember where you were at when Street Fighter Five first launched? So you got to think back to like what 2016 February. Like, you remember where were you at during those events? Did you play the game back then?
yeah. So I was playing fighters, forever. I didn't start playing them competitively until Street Fighter 4. Um, so I was already, in the culture and everything, of course, through SNK and all that. When Street Fighter 5 dropped, I was still heavy into Street Fighter 4, playing in tournaments semi regularly and everything. And then through the beta, I was also playing that as well. I remember
Mhm.
I planned on maining Laura, 'cause I don't think Cammy was in the beta. Um, so I did like an entire breakdown guide of like of Laura, all her combos and mix ups and stuff like that, and posted on SRK. But when the game dropped, I actually didn't play Laura like at all.
Cause you had Cammy, cause Cammy was there.
Exactly.
Like,
Cammy and Ken. I played them both. And in Third Strike I played Ken. So those are my two characters at the time.
okay, okay. So you had you dived into the beta there for five and tested it out. You had using Laura. Interesting that you mentioned that the beta because we'll dive into that a bit later on too. Because we got a little bit of controversy going on about the B word and the C word, beta word and the rack. Yeah, we will talk about we'll talk about that a bit later, yo.
Oh man.
Capcom, we don't got it. We don't got it over here. Don't send your cops elsewhere. We don't have that over here. Get that out of here. All right, but let's let's move forward because you did you did actual the tournament the power of tournament no tournament of power
Tournament of Power.
series. Yeah, tournament power series based off of Dragon Ball Super, right? How did that concept come across? Because I think it was a collaboration event between you and Killer. Like, what got the wheels off the ground to get that event going?
Okay, so the Tournament of Power series, which it originally wasn't going to be a series, it is now, just because of the nature of who we are and everything. But it got started because of course, when it comes to fighting games, we're all very, very competitive. Everyone's always talking about, who's better than who's a scrub, who's not. It gets spicy. But like I said, when it comes down to it, the only way to settle these arguments is to run the set. That's going to be a very commonly used term as we move forward, but we got to run the set. But the thing is, when there's a lot of people making the same claim, now you can't just run a bunch of sets. Now we got to have a tournament. So the original Tournament of Power was in Street Fighter V. The whole server, heavy on it, playing casuals and running sets all the time, and it came time to actually decide who the best in Street Fighter V was. And of course, we have Ace, another member of Barcelona, who is the at the time was the undisputed champion of Street Fighter V.
Is currently
So
the
okay,
currently.
okay, still
Yeah.
are. But at the time, people felt that they had a claim to the throne. You know, people trying to walk up in there like Killmonger, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to just host a tournament. It was the first tournament that we hosted, and everyone signed up. And we called it the Tournament of Power because we had just got through that arc of Dragon Ball Super, which was one of the best tournament arcs in anime. Not the best because Yu Hakusho exists, but it was a crazy thing, a bunch of hype moments, and we just decided to theme it after that because the
Mm-hmm.
winner of that was supposed to be the champion of the world on Street Fighter V, which might as well be the world. We're from SRK, so Street Fighter is the king of fighting games. So yeah,
Mm.
that's pretty much how that came along.
Yeah, and the production, man. Like, if you guys may not have tuned in to see the events that DivineOne has, man, you should definitely check them out because they're archived on his Twitch channel. Was it twitch.tv slash the Divine One or Phantom
Um,
Angel? No, I
right
think
now,
it's
right
Phantom. It's
now,
okay.
yes, it's still Phantom SRK right now. I'm still rocking my OG name from the old forum. I'm gonna
Okay.
change it soon, but yeah, currently it's still that. The
Mm.
majority of the first attempts we've had, the grudge matches, the tournaments, those are archived on there. So if you want to get a feel of how those events go, who the players are, and everything, you can go ahead and take a look at those.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, yeah, because you did production, you even did commentary, ran the brackets. You mean you was a one man army, man. Just and it was a legit event, man. Everyone had a good time. A lot of hype moments and stuff like that. And not too many. The streets might not know too much about the production out there, like that you kind of nice on the production. So my question to you is like, I mean, we know that Street Fighter 6 is in the mix, plus other games, future sets and stuff like that. That's already a work of progress. And I said this, I gave you that piece of advice. I was like, yo man, if you did this a little bit more often, I think you'd be out there, man. But I think you just like, it's just something. I don't think you would want to take it too serious. Like you probably would just do it just to help out the homies and stuff. But yeah, man, your production was pretty legit, man. Pretty legit. So if you ever considered that, just something in the
Uh,
back of the mind.
yeah, I appreciate everything, the praise and all that. There were people who helped. Like, of course, when it came to like bracket running and everything, Killer definitely helped a lot there as far as organization as well. Some of the
Hmm.
events we've had, he's in the chat right now, Black Jaguars, a lot of them were his his idea, and then we just like took it from there. So there is it's not just me on production end, it's just me, but like when it comes to like organization and things like that, a lot of the Barcelona members tend to help out with that aspect of it. But as far as doing it seriously, I don't know. I don't know. I can't really say what the future holds right now. Just do it as a part of Barcelona, just to help out. And since like I have access to all like the programs, I have a background in graphic design and editing. I'm
Hmm.
currently a graphic designer, so it just makes sense for me to take the reins of that particular aspect of it and just take the stress
Hmm.
off of everybody else. Let everybody focus on just playing the best and everything while I take care of the behind the scenes stuff.
Mhm.
As we expand and the server gets bigger and we take Street Fighter 6 a lot more seriously, um, we'll see. We'll see. As far as online events, we're definitely gonna be doing that a lot more. But yeah, as
Mhm.
like a partial career thing, I don't, that's not in the cards for me right now at the very least.
Okay, but that's an option. You would consider that like it's not something that's in the main spotlight for you, but it's there.
Yeah, it's
It's
definitely
there.
there.
Okay. Okay. I got you. I got you. And speaking of, because I you mentioned this earlier, we both mentioned it as far as kind of the trash talk, right? Barcelona is definitely, it's not for the faint of heart, man. It can get rough in there at times. As well. So that actually segues into my next question. With Killer not being here, this this question was actually meant for him to answer, and that was because SirRetro, he had to edit the footage, like the intro video, and it included a clip of Killer performing the Liptons,
I know
right?
where this is going.
Oh my god! It
Oh
included
yeah.
they included the Liptons, and they had the emojis going on in the background with the gummies and stuff. It was I was like, oh my god, I had to put that in there, um, and that's what I was gonna try to address too as well, like the being too quote unquote soft. Is do you feel like certain aspects would look down upon certain people from the outside would look down on the trash talk, look down on the Liptons and stuff like that. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, just the nature of the environment right now as it is. I don't want to use the word soft, even though that's kind of what it is. But people are too they're not comfortable with being openly confident, right? When it comes to trash talking and presenting yourself as the best,
Mhm.
it's just something that's natural for a lot of fighting game players. But when you have like people who only play online that haven't really been to tournaments to really get that real feeling of how competitive it is and how people really like put their all into winning and training and wanting to succeed, they don't really
Hmm.
understand where it's coming from. They think it's just like you're being a jerk or something like that. Like it's not
Mm.
really that. At the end of the day, it's all love, but I'm trying to take your head
Hmm.
off. Period. Street Fighter Six, Capcom's putting up $1 million for the winner, and then another
Right.
million for like the rest of like come on, we gotta take it seriously. But yeah, I think people may look down on the whole Liptons, which if you don't know what Liptons are,
Mm.
it's teabagging. You just call it Liptons. It's a code name for it,
Yep.
but it's teabagging. You get teabagged, that means you got put in a bad spot, and it's your opponent,
Mm.
further taunting you and taking advantage of that. Which can have a psychological effect on your opponent to make them play worse. So it's not like a strategy, but
Right. Right.
it is what it is. But yeah, when it comes down to it, it's just love for the game and competitiveness.
Oh yeah.
If you look at like for example, the recent women's basketball, you had
Oh. Mhm.
Angel Reese getting criticized for her taunt and everything like that because when it comes to being competitive, it's looked at as being unsportsmanlike. But that's not
Hmm.
the intention behind it, and some people just don't understand that. Will they eventually? Maybe, but right now it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I bet if it was like, I bet if you did, if that particular situation happened anywhere else, like at a major or some big name event, if somebody did that, they'd get blacklisted for sure.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
get blacklisted. They be like, "Oh, ban this guy. He's unsportsmanlike. Cancel him." You know what I'm saying? Take his credentials away. All the mob will be out there for blood,
Mhm.
simply because it's just they just they see it as a form of disrespect, right? And which it is, but it's not to be taken to a particular level of that being that serious, right? At the end of the day, it's just video games. If someone gets the stunt, and starts to perform Liptons, then hey, they just that's them. That's them.
Mhm.
That means you gotta fight 10 times harder to get the revenge Liptons back or something. But regardless, I just think that it's more of the crowd. I think it's the crowd that you're dealing with, the people
Right.
that you're playing with, the people that you're playing in front, because people can take that another way and they might get offended and stuff. So it's again, it's not gonna be for everybody. That type of stuff is the trash talk. That's not gonna be for everybody.
Yeah.
And speaking of something that's not for everybody, but Retro, did you have anything before I move on?
Yeah. Actually, because two things. Well, three things. One, I think the chat's calling you out. So you're disrespectful yourself.
I mean, I've
I
I've
was
done
I,
it.
I was gonna let him
I've done
rock.
some savagery. There's
Right.
no lie.
Right.
I've done
No,
savagery
I just
before.
found it hilarious. But yeah. But two.
I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say like I was gonna let you live, but if the chats bring it up, that means we gotta talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so we mentioned the Liptons, the teabagging, right?
Right.
If you get stunned or whatever, that can happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
hmm
But Ace takes a different approach when it comes to stunning his opponent, right? So what Ace will do, and I don't know, some people take this very very negatively, even worse than the Liptons. But what Ace would do is instead of doing like a combo while you're in stun, he'd stand there and let you shake out of stun, and then continue the match from there.
Hold on.
So it's kind of like if in MK Mortal Kombat when you can like do a mercy and instead of a fatality and bring your opponent back in. That's kind of what Ace is doing there. Instead of like finishing his opponent off, he's like, nah, I'll give you a second chance 'cause I know you're not gonna win the round anyway, and then let you come back.
Nah, see you. See, nah.
Listen,
See,
I'm just
see
saying. I'm
you
just saying.
making it,
That's
you making it
that's
sound
what it's
something
like.
different. Nah, come on.
No, wait,
It's not. I wasn't gonna win anyway. Nah.
wait,
Well, I mean, how could I break? How could I explain that
bruh.
though? Let me see.
You
Go
can't.
ahead. Go ahead. Go
It's
ahead,
just
Retro.
savagery.
Chris said, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you're stuck.
Get the stun. Look, man. Look, you talking about I just look at him and then just back off?
So
Dang.
would this is point upon bringing the little nitro gummy thing? Would this the point?
That
Oh, here
was
we
that
go.
was trying to that was gonna segue. That's a whole
Okay,
different level.
I'm
That's
a
a whole. I don't know if the world is ready for this, but we gotta
okay,
debut it. We
okay.
No,
gotta
we're not. We're
yo.
not ready,
I
They're not ready. They're not ready for it.
all
They
right.
but
not.
it's here.
I'm gonna
Oh my god.
I was finish
We
up.
almost there though. We almost there. We're gonna get to it.
Okay,
We're
that's a
gonna get
teaser.
to it.
All right, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
So basically things like that, like taunting,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. That's just psychological stuff to get into your opponent's head, and
Right.
like DivineOne said, make you play worse, like force you to do something that you normally wouldn't do and take you out your comfort zone. And you'd
Mm-hmm.
be like, because most people, you sitting around people playing, you at an event or something, everybody gonna be like, oh, you know what I'm saying, and just get hype and stuff because somebody got you got taunted on, and
Yep.
you don't really see taunts like that. But yeah, that is considered the form of disrespect, and the DivineOne, you even got the emo, you got the Lipton's emo for that. That's even more savage, and you
That
got the
the gummy.
gummy too as well.
The
What you
gummies, the
mean?
Liptons, everything. I mean that's just how we operate. It is what it is. Again, it is disrespect, but it's no like it's not meant to hurt feelings.
It's
It's
not
not meant to
Right.
like
personal. It's like it's
yeah, it's
not a
not personal.
personal type of thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's just in the game. It's
there
just
it is.
fun. It's just extra motivation.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all it is.
Because I was gonna say the other thing I was gonna point out because we actually had first season one we literally had one of our guests was the biggest trash talker in the world, if not of all time, Pork Chop. We actually literally discussed something very similar to this, and of course if you know Pork Chop and
Hmm.
and also as far as for New York wise, man, Pork Chop and Real Law that between Georgia and New York, shoot, and
Yeah,
how much
that rivalry was crazy.
how there is just hours and hours, probably pretty much years of footage. They were going back and forth since Tekken Tag 2 to Tekken 7, trash talking back and forth. And it got even like big with Bandai Namco when Mark Julio and Aris was commentating, and they were like when Tekken 7 was making the debut, and you saw the major trash talk they did back and forth. it is entertaining, and but also too. Go ahead.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like a storyline. Yeah, it's like a it's
Right.
like it creates a storyline throughout the years and years as the game progresses. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't want people to like to look at it as a personal like
Right.
I just broke into your house. I took your mail. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
you know yeah, I got you fired from your job. You know
Right.
some kind of craziness like that. Don't look at it that way. It's just a part of trying to create an entertaining match atmosphere, right?
Right. Because
That's basically what that is, yo.
but you know what? We actually experienced something that happened recently at our Cherry Blossom tournament the day before Sunday, and it went very viral on Twitter. I'm not sure y'all guys saw it, but it's when it was, of course, it's not related to Street Fighter, but it's still related to the topic at hand. With Pork Chop, and they had players from Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, come through, and this kid, 17-year-old kid named King Ray Jr., was dominating, beating everybody in ATL. And Pork Chop got so frustrated with them. He was like, "What are you doing?" Duh, duh. And next thing you know, he started talking trash, and I got on video too. But the big part was that was really viral on Twitter. He would talking trash to the kid. He's like, "Yeah, don't get nervous now." But the way he conducted it was clean. He wasn't like, "Your mama sucks," or "I'm better than you. You can't do nothing." Blah blah. Like he wasn't demeaning. He was like, "Yeah, don't you gotta block that. You gotta do this and do that, and don't get nervous. You can't. I'll show you how to play Tekken." And the way he conducted it was like in a good manner. But the big one that really considered that it was like borderline was in the middle of the match when he was winning. He. I've recorded this happen. That man picked up his phone, called either someone called him, he called somebody, and he was on the phone and said, "Look, I'm cooking right now." Talking on the phone, beating the kid. Everyone fell out on that day. I'll show you the link to the Twitter. It's like thousands and thousands of likes, retweets, everything. Everyone saw that and they were like, "I would have went home if that happened to me." He pulled out a phone on this kid, beating him, and just said, "Look, I'm cooking right now," talking to his friend on the phone. And
Yeah, when you gotta bring out the phone during the mid set, that's like yo,
bruh,
and still win the match, yo.
yes. And but afterwards, he said, "GG's," shook the kid's hand, and
Mm,
but the thing was, after all that, it was brutal. After all that, yeah, we were all there live in person. And Macon, Georgia
mhm,
had to witness that. But the thing was that afterwards, he talked to the kid's father. The kid's father understood that Porchop's gonna do that. He's gonna entertain it. He's gonna talk trash, and the kid understood that it wasn't any ill intent,
mhm,
about how Porchop carried himself, because he'd been doing this for years. And Porchop in the episode of season one, one of the episodes that he was featured with us, he talked about how much he actually toned down a lot. Yeah, it made the FGC daily page. That's how big it got. And the thing is, though, Pochop said he toned down a lot from how he used to be back then. But even it seems like back then it didn't seem as brutal. No, even as brutal. The thing is, always kept it within the game. But he does it. And the thing is, he does it where if you know the person, you know how he is, and you want to speak up to him about it, and you want to like, "Yeah, Pochop, I can beat you." You look like you have to prepare what you got to sign up for, because when he start talking trash, he gonna keep going. And and of
mhm.
course, and the thing is, many of our guys, they got trashed on, but they were laughing and having fun because they know that he gonna be hilarious about it, because he's very animated. But in the end,
Mhm.
he talked to the father, and he was like, "That kid's good." He gave so much respect to his opponents. He gives so much respect in general, and doesn't. And the thing is, he doesn't try to pick like talk trash to not just everybody. He always like, right, as Retro what was saying. If you talk the talk, prepare to receive it. But the thing is, otherwise, if he doesn't know you that well, he's going to back off until you get comfortable with him. And when it gets to that point where you play each other a few times, and you think you're feeling yourself, and he's like, "All right, I got you, fam," and y'all guys go at it. But the way he does it is entertaining. So, and I said that's like the biggest trash talker. So when it comes to, you know, for people outside of the scene, especially, and looking down on this, on us, and you see all that's going on, but you have to look at other things. In football, you have football fans, you have other sports, and like you said, bring up Angel Reese, all that type of stuff. It's always going to happen in a natural sense. You're going to taunt, you're going to try to get in people's heads, and it's really really interesting because you're like, man, you hurt my feelings and this and this and that. It depends on the person, you know, and sometimes you have to understand that the person is not intentionally trying to make you feel bad or not trying to hurt you in a bad way. It's a strategy, and there's ways that you can learn how to tune them out. There are ways to counter that. Focus, and the kid at times he took some rounds off of Pork Chop because he didn't let that fully get to him, and that was like things people don't have to comprehend. But yeah, that's why I just want to bring up those points about on our end. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that. I think it can be seen as a good thing or a bad thing. It's just a 50-50. It's a toss up. It depends on how the person's gonna take it. Take the trash talk. Either they take it, use it as a motivation to try to get better, to compete with the person, or they just like, they might just walk away and just like not play again. And it varies from person to person to person. But if you're looking at it on the outside, you might see it as just being completely negative. Like, he shouldn't be talking like that to his opponents. It's a bad atmosphere. Nobody's gonna want to go over there or enter their tournaments and stuff like that. And again, you have to also keep this in mind. People, they come from different areas. They grow up around different scenes and stuff. When that type of trash talk was the norm. And people just only use that to fuel themselves to get better. And then what happens if you beat that person? They get quiet. Or either they want to try to run a money match or something, or try to keep it, get a good rivalry going. So, just to notice out there, just for people, just to don't take it personally, unless I mean, there's levels to it. If it gets to a point where it's like really disrespectful, then you'd have to have a talk then. But for the most part, I think it's just all just good ribbing. You like, just it's all in good fun, man. For the environment and competition of the game, just to help out. But yeah, we're gonna move on to the next topic here, man. And we gotta talk about the gummy, man. It's time. It's time. It's time to
All right.
bless the world
Let me pull this
with
up right
the
quick.
gummy, the good gospel. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna switch to over here for y'all.
You know, Epidemic 1-1 says, you know what I'm saying, he who beholds the gummy, something, something, something. So, DivineOne, you gotta have to take us through this, man. You gotta have to take us through the history of the gummy. You
The
see it there. It's
history
called
of
the
the
little,
gummy.
yeah, Little Nitro, man. Shout out to Little Nitro. Talk to him. Talk to him. Go ahead. You got it.
Alright, so what are we doing right now? All right. So what we're looking at right now is a little nitro gummy bear. As you can see, the world's hottest gummy bear. Long story short, it's a 9 million Scoville unit, whatever scale they use, uh, gummy bear. Ain't nothing sweet about that gummy bear. It is all fire, right? It burns you down to your soul. That's what that thing does to you, right? Now, where this plays in here is that this is what we use to put stakes on our spicier, no pun intended, of sets, right? When you got those first to tens that are like really like grudge matches, we put some extra incentive for them to go hard by throwing in a gummy match, right?
Mhm.
The loser has to eat one of these on camera and record their reaction to it. Um, it's similar to like if you watch Yu-Gi-Oh growing up when they had the shadow games. It's kind of
Mhm.
like that, right? If you're a battle rap fan, Loaded Lux used to say they used to battle on the roof. The loser had to jump. This is our version of that, just adding extra stakes. Where this came in was that our leader, the Epidemic, the one who created the Discord, he just did it out of the blue as just a challenge. I can't recall if it was like one of his daughter or something like that that mentioned it or brought it up to him, but he ended up just eating it and recording his reaction, which triggered some of us to try it. But we used it as an incentive in matches instead of just like just doing it for no reason, right?
Mhm. And who was
And
the
then
first? Who was the?
mhm,
Who was the first? The first. What was the first gummy match? Do you remember that?
the first
It's
gummy
been it's
match.
been so many.
It's
It's
been some
honestly been.
years, man.
Yeah, I can't even remember what the first one
What was
was.
the first gummy match?
Uh, um, dang.
I can't remember the very first gummy match. I have to go back. Maybe someone in the chat can like. We got a lot of Barcelona members right now in the chat, so someone could probably drop it in there and let us know what was the first one. But it goes back some years.
Yeah,
Bull and
it's been
Killer.
a while.
I'm not sure if it was Bull versus Killer.
Bull? I want to say Bull and someone.
Poe. No, no, no. It
No, no,
wasn't
no. It
Poe.
wasn't Poe. Definitely wasn't Poe. Ah,
We'd have
I
to do some scrolling
you gotta
to
do the
like
history.
find
You gotta
out.
go through the. I can't remember. Damn,
But
what was
yeah,
the first one?
I
Sheesh.
want to say it was probably Bull. It was probably Bull.
Okay, okay. I think that. All right. But yeah, the concept of that particular type of match, like, what were the stakes of that the match? It was like it was first to 10. First to 10, loser of the set eats the gummy, right? Eats your nitro gummy. And you might think, okay, it's just a normal or not normal, boy. You think it's just okay, it's probably just gonna be as hot as drinking Tabasco or something, right? Something light work. Nah, there's nothing light work about those damn demonic bears, yeah. Nothing light work about that, man. You've had two of them before. You took
Two
two of
at
them.
the same time.
Nah, that's
It gotta be clear.
crazy.
Yes, I shouldn't
Wait,
have.
wait.
Listen,
You took
it
two?
gets yeah, it was two at once.
Hey,
It gets really competitive. Let me just say that.
yeah. Nah. See, that is not okay. I have to put that disclaimer out there, like, for people not to do this, but it is an option out there. It is an option. Gummy matches are a thing that exist within the realm of Barcelona. And if you want to use that, if you want to use that idea, feel free to do so. But also credit too as well if you're gonna do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cut us a check. Cut us a check. That's all we ask. Just no send that Venmo, send that Zelle, that Cash App. We accept all forms of payment.
yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure we could just buy stock from them from
At
at
this
this
point, we
point, because
should.
so many boxes that have been could bought, like that whole entire, like the picture that you see right there, all of those boxes plus some more would equal as many as gummy matches that have been had throughout the years. But yeah, that I think that was kind of like one of the biggest incentives of not losing. Like, you don't want to eat the gummy into the first of 10. Now I think the other rule was, if you get 10 owed in the first of 10, that's an auto gummy.
Yes. So
Yeah.
when it comes to a gummy match, meaning loser has to eat one, regardless of what the score is, that is decided upon by the combatants. That's not enforced by like the server at all. That's something like if they feel that strongly about the set, then they put those stakes on themselves. However, a general rule that we have is that if you get 10 0 in an official match, meaning like it's being streamed and everything, it's been scheduled, it's an official first to 10 set. If you lose that set 10-0, you gotta eat a gummy. However, if it's also a gummy match, meaning the loser has to eat one regardless, and you get 10-0, that's two for you, unfortunately. So
Nah, that's crazy.
when you go into those sets,
Mm-mm-mm.
you gotta be confident and prepared and train and do what you have to do to make sure you don't lose first and foremost. But at least make sure you don't get 10-0 because you down bad at that point.
Nah, your insides are done at that end. We saw so many different tactics to try to combat the spiciness and the hotness of the gummy. What was it? The drinking the milk, eating the ice cream, and all this other stuff. The Pepto Bismol to try to help out with the pain, but the pain is still there. Like it still lingers, you know what I'm saying? I mean, when I had mines, I did it was like what, 4 hours? It took like 4 hours for me to start feeling okay. But during that 4 hour period, it's just nothing but burn. Just burning. So that's why I put that out there saying that if you want to take that, challenge your friend to a gummy match or something, a first to 10 gummy match or something, y'all can do it, but y'all both gotta agree to it, and make sure your health is okay, because you don't want to do a gummy challenge with like bad health, your heart can't take it, your stomach's not gonna take it, any pre-existing conditions and stuff you have, don't accept no gummy match, bro.
Yeah,
Don't accept
I
that.
want to be
Yeah,
very, very clear.
yeah.
Like this little red gummy bear is not something to joke with. It's really not. Um, it is it's not a level of heat that's normal in any way, shape, or form. People who like,
Mm-mm.
let's say you really love spicy foods, right? Me myself, I have a Jamaican background,
Hmm.
spice and everything, right? This
Scotch bonnet, you know.
exactly. If you know, you know. This is in no way, shape, or form in that realm at all. This is not
Mm-mm.
something that you want to eat. Trust me, you don't. However, if you're that confident
Hmm.
in your play and you know you're gonna win that match, you don't gotta worry about it, right? Your opponent's gonna have to eat that, not you.
Yeah,
So go ahead and run the set.
yeah.
Just because
Chato points out getting a lawyer for the. I'm like, nah, we don't need no. Nah, we
Oh
don't need a
no.
lawyer for that, man. Just y'all both agree to it. Y'all both shake hands. Hey,
Your
winner of
Honor.
this gets the gummy. Look, man. Look, man. If y'all decide to do this in Macon, look, I don't know what to say, Retro.
Oh,
I don't know what to say.
I have no idea what we're gonna try to cook up in
Mm,
our end.
mm, nah, I don't want to bring that over there. Don't bring that over there. I don't want to bring that over there because I don't want to be responsible for somebody going in that night. Because that, again, that gummy is not nothing to play with, man. It's not for the faint of heart. Which is why you don't really see people doing gummy matches like that, or spicy. There's like the spicy chips,
Oh,
Mhm.
the one tip
um,
challenge. Yeah.
the
Yeah,
one
we
chips.
get into those too. We get into those sometimes too. Like when
Oh
in those
no.
cases, like that's the funny thing about the gummy, right?
Mm-mm.
There are times where people have those grudge matches, they want to throw hands, run the set, but they don't want to put the gummy on it, right? So they'll take it down a notch, right? And go to like the one chip challenge, or like there was like the death nut challenge. I believe Killer participated in that one
Yeah,
because
he
gummies
did
on
the
the level.
he did the death nut
Hmm.
challenge. He did that, and the sour gummy. That's another thing. That's another possible thing. Like the super sour gummy, that's another option, but it doesn't. I don't think it leaves the same impact as the hot gummy would.
Nah, it doesn't. It
Nah,
doesn't burn. But I've seen like videos of like incredibly sour things, and that legit will leave your mouth bleeding.
yeah, because you don't want that to happen. You don't want
Yeah,
that to
I
happen.
don't know about all that, but
You want the internal pain. We don't want to see you taking pictures with blood all over your mouth and stuff.
yeah,
Trying
we
to
don't
eat a
want that.
sour
That's
ball or
not.
something.
Nah, we get off that. But just to like one final comment on the gummy. I don't wish it on nobody but my opponent. If y'all out there thinking, oh, let me just try it just for the fun of it,
Mm-mm.
don't do it. If you do it, that's on you.
If you do it,
And
record the video and then tag.
yeah,
You know what I'm
record the
saying?
video and upload it, put it on
Tag
Twitter,
us.
tag us, do whatever you want. But listen, it
Yeah.
is at your own risk.
That's your own peril. You
He
better
took
take it like,
it.
"Well, I can man, that ain't nothing. I can handle that. That ain't I used to, what I'm saying? People used to be like, oh, I used to eat curry that's like a 10 times 1,000 hotter, that's not on the menu or
Wasabi.
some kind of crap.
Yeah, it's
That's
not.
nothing.
It's
That's
not.
nothing.
It's different. Trust me. We've had people who thought that. I eat spicy foods all the time. The gummy's not
Yeah,
gonna be a
that's
problem.
nothing.
Yeah, it never goes that way. All right. However you
Mm.
think it's gonna go, it's not gonna go like that.
It's not happening.
Like
It's not
it's gonna
happening,
put you
Capcom.
down. It's gonna put you down for at least 2 hours. You're gonna be in despair for
Good
2 hours.
lord.
If y'all watch Naruto, right? If y'all remember when Itachi put Kakashi in the Infinite Tsukuyomi? Sorry, not Infinite Tsukuyomi, but in the Tsukuyomi, where
Mm.
he was like getting stabbed and everything for like 3 days, but only like what, a couple hours. That's what the gummy's gonna be like for you.
Mm-mm-mm.
eternal pain, or when you see the Naruto heartburn meme, he's slowly falling down. That's it right there. That's it
No.
right there too. So yeah, just a thought out there. So if you guys, you interested in trying to get a gummy match going, a first to 10 somewhere, y'all may take this idea and go back to the cave with it and be like, hey, I challenge you to a first to 10 gummy match. A what? Do you explain to him what it is? Loser of the match it ends with a gummy. If it's a 10-0, a double gummy. But yeah, man, I just wanted to debut that to the world. You guys know what it is. The gummy matches are out there. They could be in there for Street Fighter
Oh no,
Six.
they will.
Oh,
They will
I think
come.
I think we'll see it almost everywhere. If
That
people hearing
ether is
this out,
coming.
I think we're gonna see a
Uh,
lot of intense exhibitions for more than just the gummy. Like the gummy, I quit, everything. I think a lot of that type of stuff. It's gonna be crazy.
mm-hmm. It's going in for sure, man. A lot of things in the tank.
I think should
For
add
that.
hot peppers and stuff to it too.
See, man, y'all see, this is look that you already got this, and
Uh-oh.
we already implanted the idea in Retro's head right now. Oh, this is not a good sign. It's not a good sign. Don't do that. Don't take that to the community, man. Don't take it to them. Leave them out of it. They're innocent civilians, man. This is only for the
Oh
faint of
no,
heart. All right,
the
but
new generation gonna get prepared. They gonna get
oh,
ready.
so y'all ready? So y'all think y'all ready to try the gummy, man? Come on, dog. Oh no.
Look,
Look what we
I,
did. Look what we did, PA.
I'm
We
trolling.
done started an epidemic, man. Damn. All
Hey,
right.
listen, man. We gave as many warnings
We tried. We
as we
tried to
could.
tell them. We tried. We
We
let them know in
tried,
advance. It ain't for
and this is
everybody.
and this is this is from experience. We have both experienced it, so it's like we
Oh,
can tell anyone the best that it's just you don't want to do it. It's not something you
Nah,
do casually. You don't.
nah.
well,
It's
This ain't.
that ether for real.
it's
It
too
makes your
Why
late.
soul
you think
burn
they only
slow.
get? Why you think they only sell one? You got to buy them in a pack if you want to get more than one.
Well,
That's on that. If they show multiple ones, it'd be a different story. But they doing it one per package
well, one of
for a reason.
Hmm.
well,
For a
one of our
reason.
players already found the sour's candy. Yeah, he tried to do like no, not the spiciest, but the sour's candy.
Oh, Evernight said he's about to smoke. Nah,
Oh,
CPA.
the
Hey, we
toxic
tell them.
waste.
We
Look,
trying to tell him. We trying
Yeah,
to
this is
tell
how it
him,
always
man.
goes. This always happens every single time it comes up. Someone's always saying, "Nah, that's not. It's not gonna be that crazy. It can't be that bad
mm-mm-mm.
until it is."
Hmm. Okay. All right. Well, if you do it, you know what I'm saying, do the video, do the video of the challenge or the tag us, let us know how your experience is. And, we'll go from there. But as it stands for right now, that's what the gummy matches are looking like.
Mm-mm-mm.
So there definitely be some in the works for six, as well. So before we talk about Street Fighter Six, 'cause there's a lot to do with that. Let's dive back one more time to take a look back at the past 7 years for Street Fighter Five.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta ask you, DivineOne, was Street Fighter Five really a bad game?
Nah, I would. I can't call it a bad game. In good faith, I cannot call that. I can't call it a bad game. It's had its like struggles. There have been time periods where it wasn't the best and needed updates. But that's what most games. You never really get a game these days out of the box that's that's what you want it to be. It takes a few seasons, it takes some building, but Capcom put in the work and stayed dedicated to the game and supported it, and it got to what we have right now.
Mm,
I feel like it was a good journey for Street Fighter Five, and it ended up becoming a very respectable uh, fighter and a great addition to the series. So no,
Mm-hmm.
I there even though there are some things about it that I don't personally like, I I would never say it was a bad game though.
mm.
Okay.
Yep, yeah, that seems like the most general take here as far as like having a rough start towards the beginning. Like the first 2 years were kind of like, especially the first year being the worst. Just had no content on it. Nothing to keep the attention of casual players like that, which is why they're not trying to repeat that same mistake for six. And you see how crazy they going in on the marketing for that
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
and pushing the single player content and stuff like that. Introducing the modern controls and like try to make easy access for people to come in and pick up and play, which is it's a brilliant idea, man. It's a brilliant idea. So they're trying to
Right.
learn from the past, man. Trying to correct their mistakes. And yeah, it's looking like it's a good start, man. We got one more month here. The streets might get it. I mean, All right, so yeah, this is it's gonna be definitely gonna be quite it's definitely gonna be quite interesting to see the direction, on how six is gonna do in a few weeks. So, I'm pretty excited for it, man. Definitely looking to play out a few characters. Who you looking to try out in six?
Me personally,
Mm-hmm.
of course, I'm bringing my old mains. I've been a Cammy main since forever. When I started playing competitive Street Fighter 4, I made Cammy, and I've played her in every game that she's in that I've either gone back to or that's come out. So of course I'm playing Cammy. I'm loving what they've done with her, from the the trailers and everything. So I'm looking forward to that. Early Cammy in Street Fighter 5, I wasn't a big fan of. I didn't play her much at all after like season 3.
Hmm.
I switched to Ed, which is another character
Oh my
who I'm looking
gosh,
forward to.
another
Yeah,
one.
you know.
1, 2, 3.
So you already know that flicker stance, but we with Ed, he's DLC unfortunately, but when he comes out, of course, I'm gonna play him again. Um, and of course, the new character, Kimberly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She she is like basically everything I want in a character. So just seeing her in the first initial trailer was a great addition. So playing her in like the open beta, sorry, the closed beta and everything. She's a super cool character, a lot of mix ups and a lot of options. So I can't wait to day one just go crazy with her too. So
Yeah, she looked like a mixture of Guy and Ibuki combined. Like,
yeah, that's pretty much what
which
she is.
which is oh man, the character gonna like fly around you. And it's gonna be so annoying to chase after too.
Yeah, that's actually a good solid team to work with. Having a Cammy and a Kimberly on
Mm-hmm.
deck, like two fast characters, um, that are just like in your face, being annoying and stuff. So that's not bad, man. Let's see. We'll definitely see how that works out for sure. Um, as we getting closer and closer
Mm-hmm.
to, launch day. Very very exciting stuff. So now that we're on Street Fighter 6, I mean, do you feel like it's just gonna, change the world? People have been waiting to. Some people just fed up of playing five. They don't want to touch five anymore. They don't even like looking at five or even mentioning the
Mm-hmm.
game gets people upset and stuff. So I mean, is this the game, the mecca? Is it going to be the mecca of fighting games for the future? Is it going to change the world?
Hmm.
um, Honestly, okay, so here's what tends to happen with not just fighting games, but like Street Fighter in general.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Street Fighter is looked at as like the gold standard of fighting games in some respect. No matter who you talk to, Street Fighter has some influence in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
Right. Now it's definitely going to be the biggest fighting game. Of course, we have Tekken 8 on the horizon. There's talks about a Mortal Kombat 12 possibly coming out, but Street Fighter is always the biggest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But Street Fighter's history, every time a new Street Fighter comes out, everyone who hated the previous version now loves that version and they hate the new game.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hmm.
that
That's
happened.
that's tradition. That's
Yeah,
that's
that
that
happens
happens all the
every single
time.
time.
Hmm.
So as far as like Street Fighter 6 being the mecca and like it will be because the torch is being passed. There are going to be people who like they prefer Street Fighter 5. I'm already seeing it, whether it's a visual
Mm-hmm.
disparity or the mechanics. There are going to be people who prefer Street Fighter 5 and don't like 6, but the vast majority is going to transition from 5 to 6 perfectly fine, and 6 is going to bring in a lot more players with their
Mm-hmm.
focus on the casual player base, which is where the majority of the player base and the money comes from when it comes to fighting games. It comes from the casual crowd. The competitive scene keeps the game alive, but the casual crowd is the one that brings that money forward, right? So
Hmm.
with the whole the world tour mode and the demo they just released for that, the character creation, and all those things that are meant for quote unquote casual players and a single player experience, those are going to make the game that much bigger and provide easier barrier of entry for people who want to maybe eventually get into the competitive scene, especially with the whole introduction of the modern control scene as well. So
And if you and also you notice that you notice what their target their target audience is for that demo was, right? They specifically made it to, okay, try out character creator. Why would we want to try out character creator and just like a little bit a piece of the story mode when they could have just did a, an open beta to, just test out the network
Mm-hmm.
and run the matches and stuff. This is what the content they're trying to push for the more casual audience to get into it, because again, it showed the, it taught you controls, it taught you how to play the game. And I think that's what they're going to focus on towards the, the beginning of it. Of course, there's going to be something for the more hardcore great crowd and
Right.
stuff. But at the first glance, they want to get new players in to test the game. And also to keep in mind as well is that since this game is going to be on Xbox, that's another group of
Mm-hmm.
players coming in to play the game. So you're getting PS4, you're getting PS5, you're getting PC, Steam, and you're getting Xbox. That's four different platforms for the game to be on, and that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. That's a lot of
I,
people, to play the game. And originally, over the time, I thought that the PS4 version didn't even exist because we never had any footage of it. Turns out that, okay, it runs somewhat well with
mm-hmm.
this recent demo that they have, with just Ryu and Luke. And I think that's a brilliant way for them to, market the game for sure, is to get the new people in here, let them make their character, let them run around the city, beat up pedestrians and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and introduce the different control types. They got the classic, the modern, and dynamic. So I think that's a really good thing. And if they want to decide to go the more competitive hardcore route, that option is there as well with the versus mode that they put in. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's it was a little something for everybody. I know a lot of people wanted to play with more characters than just Ryu and Luke in the latest demo, which is, yeah, that's understandable, But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I think this is good to get everybody into the door, to get them used to how the game is going to play when it comes out. Because again, we're gonna blink and we're gonna open our eyes, and then the game's gonna be right there.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so it's only a few weeks away.
No,
So
it's
I
literally
think
a
that,
month.
yeah, yeah, it's right. Like literally, you knock on the door, you open it, you're there.
Dang.
So I think that's a really good thing for them to do this, versus having like a open beta to have everybody come in and test the net code and just, get beat up, beat up by the people that have been playing uh, um,
The demo. People that have been
the
playing the demo.
Who-
the
A different a
the
different
rest.
access.
Yes, the ones who have been had different avenues to who've gone to different
Listen,
avenues to
man.
get
Right.
the, you know what I'm saying? I
I
think that'd be better for them. That's better for them to do that.
I
Introduce them and stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
I can truly testify about the single player situation because my girlfriend is a perfect example of the type of audience they're reaching out to. I Because the thing is, she didn't know there was a demo was out, and she likes Street Fighter, and she played Little Street Fighter 5. So I said, well, I'm gonna go in the room when the demo was announced and it dropped, and I downloaded it. I said, well, I'm about to go play some Street Fighter 6 demo, and she was like, what? It's a demo? I'm like, yeah, you can create your own character. So I said, you know what? I don't feel like playing. I played the game, played the demo for like 2 hours. I said, try it out. She went straight to that world tour. The way she can create her own character and the customization was ridiculous, and she loved it. She sat there and like, I can make this look like me. Oh my gosh, I love it. I can do this move. I can do this move. And I was like, hey, here's the button controls where it's simple to press this and this, so you don't have to do the complicated stuff. But she, used to the traditional inputs, so it didn't bother her. But the fact that when she started that single player mode, it's all her own character that she created to engage and be part of it, and she's doing the same moves as Luke and them, and she was in awe for over an hour after the tutorial part. I just watched her. She sat there. She's like, you know what? I just want to walk around. I was like, yeah. literally it's open world. You can go wherever you want and fight people. She's like, wait, I can fight people as much as I want in the world tour. I can do this stuff. Oh yeah, you can fight as many as you want as you can. She went around to everybody and she's like, this is my life. I would love to do this in real life. I would just go around and fight people. It's like, so she literally walked to every single avatar and she was like going at it,
Just throwing
talking
hands.
trash. She was throwing hands for an hour. She went to like 20. I said, well, you go to the next part of the stage. She's like, no, I want to play right here and fight as many people I want. I just want to throw hands. She enjoyed it. Like, she loved it. For over an hour, I sat there and watched her, and she would just engage. And she like, this is so cool. And, and she was like, I said, oh yeah, if you, and then she like, then we played versus mode, and we played the extreme mode where the party game stuff, and she was like, what? I was like, yeah, you know how to play traditional versus? We can do it with the bulls and yeah, knockdowns and stuff. She like, she was hitting the bulls, and we went back and forth. She had a blast, and she like, I won't. And then she knows she like, I want to play this again. I want to play this again. I want to play the new Street Fighter. And I was telling her that it's gonna have these guides. So if like, because she tried to be a little competitive. So I was like, well, here and for what they've been showing in the tweets and promoting, they got where they say, hey, here's an in-depth guide for each character, each move they have in the move set. They have in-depth this, in-depth of everything. And she was like, yeah, I love this and this. She, and the thing in mind, once again, she actually doesn't play fighting games like that. She don't play games in general. She's not much of a gamer compared to me. She knows, she got into gaming a little bit with Sims and Diablo, maybe, but before she met me. But since she met me, we played fighting games, and she always like struggled with inputs and stuff like that. When I told her Street Fighter 6 and what the features you can do, and when I told her that you can play online with other avatars, that they show online against other avatars, oh, she is like, oh, I can play my friends online with my own avatar, my own character. In my head, I'm like, yep, that's a selling point. That's like Capcom is like, they know what they're doing. That's it. That demo basically is like your grandma, your aunt, your cousin twice removed, your 2-year-old baby, whoever, pick up the game, your dog. Yes, there's a video of a dog doing fireball inputs. There's actual live input that. Those are the type of people, because the FGC, that's the people trying to get people to understand. The FGC, yes, they're very supportive and they're very consistent within the scene for this game, but that's only a small amount of people compared to the millions, potentially billions of people who know about fighting games, may not play fighting games, know like a little bit this and that. Because people in general, they like they know about Street Fighter. They know Street Fighter. They don't know who Ryu is. They say, hey, who's that guy that throw fireballs? Who's that girl that throw kicks? I want to play that. Oh, who's that little crazy green thing? Oh yeah, that big guy strong. Those are the type of language that you're gonna hear from the people outside the FGC, and those people like, hey, granddad, uncle so and so, aunt so and so, cousin so and so, blah 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 blah. So when they brought this feature for Street Fighter 6, and now it's like, and the thing is, what's even smarter, you can separate you can download each mode separately from each other. So if you want to play just that World Tour mode on its own, you don't have to, and don't worry about the versus mode or fighting whatever. You can do that. The tactics they're doing, yeah. So that's why I'm like, to testify what they're trying to do and what you guys were saying. This is So that's why I think this is why, like you were saying earlier, DivineOne, about that trend of Street Fighter being that that's the big game. The previous people they try it out, then there'd be that people that say, you know what, Street Fighter 6 sucks. Let me go back to Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5, blah 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 blah. Now that will so happen, but I think the way it is not going to be as a big thing comparison. Street, I think Street Fighter Six. It may not fully solve the problem, but I think the way they've been going about it with the promoting, they promote it on WrestleMania. They promote it at Royal Rumble. They have a WWE person as a commentator. They have the show promoted on SNL by Michael B. Jordan. Like, yeah, like yeah, all that stuff is. I think it'll be different. I think what Street Fighter Six is going to be different from that formulated pattern that they've been following through. There are going to be people that beat Street Fighter Five. They go back Street Fighter Five, Street Fighter Four, Street Fighter Three, Super Turbo. I play those games still. I love those games to this day. I still play them, even though Street Fighter Six will be out. But I think it'll be a little bit less than those type of people because I think the way it's going to attract, it'll be so many people liking all the stuff about Street Fighter Six and the way it's being presented and the fact that being the developer being addressing to it. That's going to change a lot. So, yeah, I think it's going to be different. It's different.
You know what the biggest thing is
Mm-hmm.
about it? So Street Fighter Six, right?
Mm-hmm.
We already talked about the emphasis they're putting on the casual audience.
Correct.
Because like Ace mentioned about Street Fighter Five when it first launched, story mode, things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know I have friends who don't play anything but like 2K, NBA 2K. They see the character creator and like, wait, that's Street Fighter 6? And now they're interested, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is very important because again, the majority of the funding and the money that this game is going to make is going to come from the casual audience, not the competitive scene.
Correct.
And when you put $2 million up for Capcom Cup, that money has to come back in some way, shape, or form. Now, there are two things pushing people towards six.
Correct.
The single player casual content
Mm-hmm.
and the possibility and idea that you can win even a piece of a pot of that nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the marketing is just the game has everything going for it right now. And one thing I do want to address, since we did talk about like there not being an open beta, I have a concern because when the game drops, and this continues to happen with fighting games and other online based games, right? On day one, the servers get trashed because they always underestimate. Yeah, they always underestimate the amount of people who are going to be playing the game. So with no open beta, with a limited pool of people who can access the game to really push it to the limits and really get an idea of how many people are going to be playing it.
Yeah, it's a risk.
It's tough because I don't want to get on this game the first day and the netcode is terrible, or you can't get into like the battle lounges or whatever they call them because the servers can't handle the amount of people trying to play it. Like we don't want that.
Right.
And I hope that's not the case.
Right, because the thing is, like, they have to be very confident of making that move if to not potentially post out, do a open beta beforehand. Because if I'm not sure if they gonna try to. Yeah, we actually before that Diablo 4 that came out, when they did the open beta for that, and once again my girlfriend, she's a big fan of that. So I remember when I got the beta, I went ahead an hour before I got off work. I would use my phone to mobily connect to my PS4 and just go ahead and queue. No, not down to queue. I downloaded it, but I queued.
Oh, I see.
because the server was going to be so packed, and literally I looked at the phone, and when you start the thing, it said how long you have to wait till you get queued into the server. It was over an hour.
I remember that they had super crazy long queue times.
So right. So the thing is, if someone like Capcom, knowing about how people have been crazy trying to find different ways to assess the beta, to do this game and that and the demo, and then now you're reaching out to not only the FGC but many millions of people outside of that. And then the thing is, the fact you can go online with your own created character, like in GTA, and you know how GTA is so crazy with the servers and stuff. So imagine like amplifying all that. Yeah, Capcom either they already got prepared beforehand, or either that, or somehow being a rude awakening when that June 2nd hits, and you try to start the game, go online, and you can't get on the game to probably Monday online.
That's gonna be a
And,
problem. That's gonna be a problem for me because I'm
Mm-hmm.
definitely taking that day off. I'm taking
and
that
I
day and the day
Exactly.
after off.
and also too, you know, since they also did they also announced that you could create your own groups and stuff like that, and create your own
and
emblems and
Yep.
yeah,
T-shirts and stuff. Do you think how many groups are gonna be in the lobbies? Not even playing; they're just hanging out.
yeah.
Gang
Think
gang.
about that, because
Remember?
that's what was going on in the original beta. People weren't like there was some people that just didn't even play; they just walked around and just stayed idle, and just I guess trolled and stuff. So they
Yeah.
got to get a trolls. They got to get a troll something to do. And you thinking about it, they're taking up the slots. They're taking up slots in the room, and when
Mm-hmm.
that room gets filled up, they got to go to the next room. So you got to think about how many people are going to be logged on just to chill in the lobby and not do anything.
I
That's
mean,
another
Nah,
thing as
that's
well.
true. That's how it is in like MMOs too. Like Final Fantasy 14, for example. Like
oh
when I used to play that
yeah.
game heavy, right? Like you would go to like there's hub zones,
Mm-hmm.
and I swear like that you at any time, any point in time, any day of the week, you can log on and go to that area, and you're gonna see the same people just chilling in the same places, not doing anything else.
Taking up slots.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Taking up slots, just sitting there, bro, idling the whole time. Now I was also wondering, do they do like a kick thing, like if you stay idle too long, will the server kick you or something like that? I wonder
Mm.
if that's a thing too.
I've
If
only
not, I
seen
think I
them.
think that's gonna be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've only seen them do something similar to that in Ultimate Marvel's Capcom 3 in the lobbies. Like if you're sitting around for too long, it's not a long time at all. It's like a minute. But if there's
Right.
nothing going on, no one's queuing up in like a lobby in MVC3, it kills the whole lobby.
Oh, okay, okay.
But I haven't seen that in any Capcom fighter since.
Hmm.
So I'm
Hmm.
not sure how they're gonna go about it. They're either gonna have to have big enough rooms, like if you look at Dragon Ball Fighters, which has a similar concept.
Hmm.
Um, I think there were like 64 players per lobby in that.
Mm-hmm.
Guilty Gear XR has a similar one. So I don't know. There are blueprints already created for this type of environment. It's just Capcom decided to take it to another level with full character models that are also customizable and that can physically interact with each other.
Hmm.
So I hope they got their things in order. All right, I just
Yeah.
really hope they do.
Cause
I got question marks on that. I got question marks now because it's like you're gonna have all these people coming in. I mean, the day one, everybody's getting on. Everybody's logging on. Some people they'll be in trainer mode. Some people go straight to the story mode. Some people want to dive right in with their avatars or whatever. Because I think the avatar data it does save, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
Yeah.
so
that's
people
safe.
people aren't going to be spending time or wasting time on that. It's like nah,
Yeah.
some people in the character creator they're spending a little bit of time on that. So the servers they're not
Oh
getting completely
yeah.
jam packed at once. Nah, their characters are already created. All they gotta do is turn the game on and walk into those lobbies.
Yep.
That's
So
it. That's it.
we'll
Yeah.
see. I mean, the way they positioned everything makes it seem like they got it under control. But if we look at history, they never have it under control.
Mm.
So
Hmm.
I just hope it's not too bad. I hope that there's no server bloating. Like there's not an issue of getting into lobbies, and then when we do get into lobbies, I hope there's no issue of lag in game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the most important part.
Mm.
I just don't want to be able to actually get into a match, and then it's super laggy. There's delay, and you're getting kicked, and the servers are dropping off. Like I think Strive had that issue for a long time after release
You
too. So
you can't even log into Strive now. I think if that's
yeah,
Yeah.
that
I
that
think
game
they,
that
they
game's
got
getting bodied right now. So
Mm-mm.
yeah, and I think with six, right? Like they have it. You got to sit down at the cabs, and I think if you get up or something, somebody can immediately like sit in that spot, right?
I think so. That's every other game that has that type of lobby. It's that way. So you take like Guilty Gear for example, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Guilty Gear, you have two people in the cabinet, and then you have people in line who are either spectating or waiting next, right? if one person gets up, the
Mm-hmm.
next person who's in line will immediately take that spot. So I don't know if you're able to control the types of lobbies, or if it's just like two people sit down and you play. I don't know if there's a got next option. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah,
But
cause I know I was like I saw people like standing like right behind the person
Right.
like while they were playing. So I guess when they got up, they immediately sat down. I'm like, bro, what the hell's going on? Oh man,
yeah, I hope
that
they can at
would
least do
be.
private lobbies, because when it comes to running tournaments and events, having something like that going on is going to really be a detriment. So
Yep.
Oof, oof, man. That's just that. Hopefully, Capcom, man, they throw us a beta, even if it's just 3 days, or a weekend thing, or something to test it. But I think they did a great job, man. I think they did their job as far as like getting the game at least out there for people to try. Especially with that world tour mode. Again, the single player that'll definitely transition over to the competitive side when it comes out. So like say they're done with world tour mode. Well, maybe let's see what the competitive side looking like, and then they might want to hop into there. And there's also some options to help them out with that. So that's why I think it's also they changed the game with the modern and dynamic controls.
Mm.
Let's talk about that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Classic, modern, and dynamic controls. So had the game didn't, so if the game didn't have those options, I think the feedback may be a little different. Like, cause people still may be a little overwhelmed that they can't do the move inputs and stuff like that, and they just they're like, nah, I can't do these combos. And well, Capcom said, hey, we got these modern and dynamic controls, so we got something that'll help people out. I think dynamic is it decides what the best option is for you, and you just press one button or something like
Yeah.
that.
Depends on the distance and stuff. Like that's
Yeah, by the
actually
ranges.
that's intuitive. Like that's like the it tracks with like okay, you're right there. It you about to jump. This is jump to this combo. That's really like to be honest with you about the control system. I'm more amazed and interested than actually appalled because yes, coming from a person um, within the FGC who's more traditional and like complex and complicated inputs like that, and grew up with it. All of us have in this chat has. You know, it's really interesting. And of course, there's the EH. Probably we might talk more about it, but there's a Event Hub's article that talks about pro players actually switching over to modern. So
Yeah, I mean
yeah,
modern controls. I'm saying this right now. I think modern controls are gonna be a problem. Some people might disagree with that.
mhm.
Okay, you'll take the damage reduction, right? But you're still covering more options as far as like execution wise. Imagine
Right.
somebody that could just perfect react to any type of drive rush you try to do. Like say you throw out a drive rush. Well, I got super. That's gonna beat that.
Mhm.
You try to parry. Well, I got something that's gonna beat that too. Let me press this one button real quick.
Yeah,
Look,
because
it's
we.
gonna.
Oh, go
Mm,
ahead.
mm-mm. Now I was gonna say you jump, you get an anti-air with one button.
Yeah,
Well, you get anti-air, man. So I'm telling you, man, in the wrong hands, modern is gonna be a problem.
and, yeah. I mean, the thing is, I could see that at the same time. It's where, for I think my perspective of it is where, of course, the cons of it with the limit access to normals and the damage and stuff like that kind of slow things down a little bit. So so I'm not too worried about it personally, and it may also depend on the character too, because
Hmm.
now some characters that don't the character that may be complex to use, like I
Mm.
can see like maybe for example if JP may use like charge attacks or a hybrid of half circles or all that type of stuff, yeah, I can see modern making it easier for that type of character to execute a lot of more difficult things. But I wonder where if there's the limit with like the normals. Like, what if JP, the character has JP, for example, has a normal that's going to actually extend and do a lot more damage and a lot more stuff. You might or get a
Mm,
better Oki versus a modern. In that case, which I believe it might be the case, that's why I'm not too worried
mm,
about it. But we had a debate within, well, not much of a debate, but we had a discussion within our own scene if we're going to allow modern controls. I actually said, well, actually
mm.
let that happen. We'll let it rock.
Let it rock.
Yeah,
Let it rock.
because the thing about it, what also I believe is also be the case, though, a lot of people, a lot of the players traditionally is going to stay with the classic. There, some like I said, like the players from Japan that will try and test out the modern. Many pro players might test out themselves and see how it feels and all that type of stuff. Because the thing is, even though it's not intentional, maybe, but Capcom purpose of trying to make it modern controls was for those in general that don't like to deal with those type of executions for the classic, and gives you an understanding of how the character operates combo wise, the combo
Mm,
potentials possibly that the character provides, and a few other things that the character can do, and what to best react with, you know. So I think it's like it's a guiding thing versus I see more of it as a guiding thing versus a you know just always a crutch and say oh man
mm,
I can't do this or like basically a easy button I can close my eyes and press this button and I'm good it can take care of everything for me even with dynamic
mm,
offline but with the limitations and stuff like that, it's still going to probably have people to say, well, dang, I wonder if in Capcom's mind, they could have probably was thinking, wondering if people would think, okay, this character can do this combo with this special move, this and this, and then if you see someone playing traditional, the classic, and see the normals that modern doesn't have, and how much it can extend and do so much stuff of it, it may push people to say, "Oh, okay, well, Ryu and Luke and Chun Li can do this extended version and does more damage, and do all this stuff, and I can do this crazy long combo, and so forth."
mm,
But if they're comfortable with doing just the the basic modern stuff, that's fine. There should be no harm to it. But at the same time, I think it would give them a look at what people can see how the combo can do. And then when it comes to classic, and see a lot more stuff they have access to, and see the
mm,
crazier stuff, I think it'd be an encouragement for them to hey, let me try out this classic a little bit. So I got 6 buttons to attack. Okay, may sounds complicated, but man, how you do that big damage and stuff? Because that's the thing, and it's not new because we had Marvel 3 with simple input, yet technically Grand Blue where it's actually and DNF was simultaneously you have both the simple button input and the traditional input, where the traditional input gives you more properties and more features than the simple version of that does, and like less cooldown,
mm,
you get more damage, you get armor or whatever. So
mm,
I think developers in general are trying to get people to say, no, here's this piece of this pie. If you add sugar, cinnamon, and butter and egg, but when you add this extra spicy ingredients to it, what maybe take
mm.
longer to add into, and maybe tricky to add right amount in it, it gives you a better taste. So it's like that. I think that's how I see it.
Yeah.
It's like this pecan pie is
Mm,
not good. It's not bad with the eggs and stuff like that. But what if you add this flavor, this little ingredient with a little bit? No, it may be tricky to add amount to it, but man, it tastes like the best thing ever. No,
yeah.
I
So
think
you
that's how I
get
see
that
it.
yeah, you get access to, of course, more damage outside of classic mode.
Hmm.
Modern is just more utility as far as reaction and committing to. Because I think if you hold down, I think it also has an assist combo. Like you just hold the
Hmm.
button down
Hmm.
and it just does the combo for you into whatever super. So you can I guess play that defensive neutral game and then until you get meter and then you just go for the big cash out with that damage. Yes, you lose on damage, you may lose on
Hmm.
certain opportunities, but as long as you can tech throws, you can as long as you can block and tech throws, with and have modern controls, I think you can still fight. You can still be able to compete. It's just that I think, what is it? You lose access to certain normals.
Correct. You look at some certain
With
normals
modern.
and normals and damage. But I think the normals will be important because a lot of the normals could actually give advantage to certain situations. Because certain normals are unique, like Luke's back heavy while messing around in the demo. It's actually based on the V skill 2 movement because he does that step back and goes in. That's actually was the V skill 2. Well, usually avoid like command grab whatever. So if that's taken away in modern, that's a unique thing that hey, this person about to grab me, and you don't have a normal for modern that will help him escape that versus a classic version that does, then you could be in trouble. So you though against a person that's going to
Mhm.
grab you in your face, you know, you may be stuck a little bit. You have no much options but to jump away or backdash whatever. But when you have a classic,
Yeah.
you have more options and more ways to escape a scenario. Luke can then like use back heavy. It's that step back, jump forward, and he hits you. It's that type of thing. So it dodges the command grab, but counter hits. You don't lose that counter hit feature versus in the modern. So I think, but like I said, developer may have an intention to try to tease people to give them, hey, this is how you like this. Add more to it. With the classic, you get a lot more. But
Yep.
but like to basically kind of fuel to your guys' point, if pro players are like, you know what, I don't have to worry about that because I can just simply do this and that. I'm not gonna worry about trying to escape this. I can just use whatever else feature because now you have more enough defense mechanics to escape out of scenarios. You got the parry, you got the drive rush still, still got all that stuff in the modern. So it's like I don't have to worry about grapplers and stuff. I can just backdash out of it, or I can do this out of it. I can do whatever out of it and do simple inputs, and I'm good. And pro players can take advantage of that. And but it's not common. It's not uncommon because that happens in Dragon Ball. Pro players actually use auto attack combos to get things started easy, and then they follow up with whatever else and go like custom from there. So
Hmm.
it's beneficial to pro players, and maybe adding to your point. But at the same time, I think it's where how it'll be used, where if you trying to fully rely on modern, I don't know. I don't think it may fully benefit. That's the thing. I just don't see it fully benefit everyone. But
Yeah,
yeah.
especially at like the highest level. At
Mhm.
the highest level, I just can't see like a modern player doing it like that. I mean, I can see him getting. I can see actually see a modern player getting top 8,
Mhm.
maybe, maybe.
I want to argue against it. I want to argue.
Far and few between, especially if a character doesn't have command normals or special normals like that. In
Mhm.
general, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. So I think that they would use that character at a good percentage. So we'll see. Definitely see what happens. Divine One, what you think about the controls?
Yeah, I'm running my mouth too much. I'll give you.
So me personally, when it comes to modern controls,
Mhm.
I think they're a great way to get people's foot in the door. Like we mentioned earlier with the casual crowd, being able to like do those flashy combos and those inputs that they may have had like issues with before due to dexterity or just unfamiliarity with motions like that, and then now they're able to with modern. I see that. Um, the the discrepancy I'm having is that the right now how people see modern on the competitive level,
Mhm.
I think it's an overreaction. And the reason why I say that is because, like we said, you're losing 20%. It's 20% damage reduction, right? On your normals and on your moves.
Is it 20% on
I
specials,
don't done.
or is it on everything?
I don't know.
I know it's on specials and supers. I'm not sure about normals.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know the specific numbers details here.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you do get a damage reduction. Um, and you're also again limited in what normals you have access to. Again, that is going to be more important for some characters than others, but it's still another limitation. At the highest level, right? The benefits that modern is giving the player, you already need to have that to play at the highest level. You already have to have those reactions. You already have to have that execution to do those quick anti-airs or super reactions and cancels. You already have to have that. So modern controls makes it easier to do it without failure. It removes that human error for the most part, but it's not giving a player any skill they didn't have before. I don't foresee um a new wave of top 8 tournament placing players who use modern who couldn't do it in Street Fighter Five using regular controls. I'm not seeing that.
Mm.
I'm probably gonna we're probably gonna see like players who are either on that borderline already or already there throughout their tournament experience getting there with modern because they already have those innate skills and abilities.
Mm.
But modern pushing over the edge or being a new standard, I can't see it. At the highest level of play, options are everything. The more options you have in a given situation, the better your chances are of coming out on top. And we see this all the time, especially with like the Will It Kill series and everything.
Mm.
One pixel is the difference between winning and losing. If
Mhm.
you're losing all that damage along the way, like let me put it this way, right?
Mhm.
Let's say you do a super, right? And it's reduced damage. The opponent is left with like let's say 5% HP.
Mhm.
Time runs out, you lose. Had you been using classic controls, that would have killed and you would have won. We're gonna see
Because
that
it's
a
more
lot.
maximizing. You maximizing the damage with the classic.
Yes, you're maximizing
Yeah.
damage, you're maximizing options. You have it's I just personally I just don't see it. I don't see it. And
Mm.
there was I think G Unit posted a video recently because of some posts he saw on Twitter talking about the possibilities of modern controls and saying like top players are going to be using this because of this reason, right?
Mhm.
One of the things he pointed out was the idea of modern controls basically option selecting for you and
Mm.
choosing what move to cancel into based on frame data, distance, and things like that. After some testing, I realized that that wasn't the case. Like
Mm.
it doesn't do any option selecting for you in modern, not in dynamic, but in modern. It's gonna do
Ah.
whatever you input it to. So that's out the window already.
After
It
after
just
some
makes it easier.
testing.
Yeah, I
Ah.
tested it out in the demo.
Oh.
Um,
Yeah. Let me
yeah,
try
I
that.
tested it out in the demo, and when you cancel into a move, you have to choose a move. The game is not gonna option select between Tatsu and EX Donkey, for example.
Oh.
That's not gonna
Mm,
happen. It
mm,
just makes it easier to hit confirm when it comes to doing it in the moment like that because it's just like one button in direction.
Hmm.
The other
mhm.
thing about modern that I don't really like is that the controls are really clunky. To do certain normals, you have to hold like the auto button. It's like a
You do?
modifier.
Yeah. 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 I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, you hold that to like do EX moves and to change your normal. So for example, if you do like a standing medium punch or standing medium in modern, it'll do a standing medium. But if you hold the auto button and press that button, it does crouching medium now,
Huh.
which is yeah, I noticed that with like Ryu, but like stuff like that to get standing light kick with Ryu, you have to hold auto and press light. It makes it super clunky. It makes the game feel like you're playing like a action RPG or something like that with a button modifier to do like your skills. Like that's what it feels like. So I'd rather just be able to just do a standing light kick by pressing standing light kick. Like it
Yeah.
just to me. So when it comes to it's like you're doing more work and you're complicating your controls to overcome a personal limitation when it comes to reaction speed and dexterity. So you're still losing out somewhere. You're losing out on damage. You're losing out on options, and you're playing a technically more complicated game with the pretense of it supposing to be easier when it's not really. So
Hmm.
that's my view on it.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, that's it'll definitely be interesting to see how the meta develops once the game comes out, and especially with more characters
Right.
too
Right.
as well. See how they function with modern. because I think like I feel like certain characters will be strong in modern, and then certain characters are like, yo, you have no choice but to play classic. Like it just the character just doesn't work with modern. And I like certain characters because of the way their normals and their specials will work, that it will be more beneficial to actually even like use them. Like they work better in modern mode. I'll give you an example, and this is just a hypothesis. You know, this
Hmm.
is just something off of the top of the head. I could think that JP would be one of the characters
Right.
that I feel like would do really well in modern mode just because of the type of character that he is. Like his specials require him to fight you. He fights you at full screen and mid screen, just basically off his specials. Now imagine if you're using the special move, you pressing forward plus the special button to do his far away special. You're pressing down and special to do his other, his other moves and stuff like that. Now this is all going on where this he's just doing all of this from mid screen. But again, we got to see how it looks in motion, right? We got to see how it looks in motion and try to figure out how we like which is best is which, because there are videos out there of I guess Wong, Justin Wong, he put a video out there of him getting the streaks on players just using modern controls.
Hmm.
He had like a 60 or 7 something win streak using like modern control Chun Li, I think, back when the beta was out there. Um, and I just gonna be interested just to see how that develops, right?
Hmm.
TLs will be like, okay, we'll just let it rock. We'll let classic. We'll let modern. I don't think anybody's gonna use dynamic. So um,
Right.
but we'll definitely see how it changes. So most of the TLs will be like, all right, we'll allow modern controls. If it gets too much of a problem, then we'll address it. But I think for right now, I think to just let it rock, for
Right.
experimentation's sake, just to see if there is going to be that one breakout superstar type player that's just like really gross on using modern controls. And I think if that does happen and then that player starts winning, getting top three, winning a tournament and something with modern controls,
Mhm.
you're definitely gonna see the YouTube clickbait, Twitter clickbaits saying I won a tournament using this character with modern
Oh
controls.
my! Someone
And with
brought.
the expression, it had a little hype expression on their face with the character next to him. So you already know those videos are in the work. Come on, man.
Yep. Oh, Oh yeah, cause I say the different character. Like I say, not only the character, the other factor too, the type of controller. So imagine like a hitbox with modern controls.
Oh yeah, he's there's hitbox. Those players like they already going through their own little thing there. They
Right.
already on notice by Capcom. The Capcom's already watching the hitbox community in general. So they're just gearing up because I noticed that they are making a lot of little statements
Hmm.
here and there. Like now that we're getting closer to the game launching, they dropped a recent hint. Well, a quote unquote warning, so recently saying that he won streaming I guess we could say it now, the crack, is getting, banned from CPT events, man. You know what I'm saying? You started seeing all the snitch memes, the streets always watching, the Randall from Recess.
Some,
You know what I'm saying?
some,
I
the one
I don't
got
want to
me.
say that person, the six, but
Some,
you
some,
start to see all those memes
yeah.
and stuff now. I'm like, yo, I saw everything, officer. He did it. He did it. They
so,
watching, man.
so,
But people they tend to tell on themselves, man, because
yeah.
they were streaming it. Like,
Yep.
bro, why would you do that? And people are out
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
here watching.
It,
What do y'all think about that? Yeah?
okay, yeah. So I was hearing talks about it. I listened to a podcast. Shout out to Calm Warrior discussing I think a little bit about it and a few other things. I mean, the thing is, the build of it from the demo and the build from the previous betas, is where they so from what I heard, it won't matter in the long run. If you try to illegally assess it, because the thing is, they if obviously Capcom is watching and they know what's going on. So and the thing is, those type of stuff and techniques and whatever that going to happen in the beta, that happened in the beta, they getting patched. Like example, in the demo now, they nerfed some of the combos that Ryu and Luke can do now. Some of the combo links don't work as they do anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
that changes that. So in that sense, imagine the final build when we get it, since pretty much more or less, this is excuse me, gone gold. Is that in the final build, you have because you're gonna have 10 plus characters. You counting those after the beta stuff, yeah, 8 characters, 10 plus more characters being featured in it. So you still got a lab and explore a lot more. So you won't have times like,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, let me go ahead and do the same god combo like I did in the beta, or if I legally or illegally assess it, and like yeah, it's gonna work the same way I do it. But then what if there's a character that is gonna counter Guile within that roster, and you're like, oh yeah, well that combo or that whatever attack that I did, or that practice I did when I assess it illegally ain't gonna work. You'll be like, oh, uh so personally for me, I don't think it will matter. You know, they can have the advantage if they want to, but like I said, with the changes they're gonna have at the final, yeah, I noticed that you played this game in a way that Capcom did not intend you to play it or assess it, but then they're aware of that, so they're gonna change it up on you. So now you try to do that same thing, it ain't gonna work,
It
and
ain't
you
gonna
be
work
like,
no more.
right. So that's why yeah, it gives you. You may have an advantage. Now, as far as advantage wise, overall, you have an idea of how the system works overall. Like at the core, you understand how the DI will work. You understand the scenarios where the drive impact, the parrying, the drive rush, and all that type of stuff. But here's the thing: the demo's out now, where everyone has access to it on all platforms. So everyone has advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone can practice that now at any point in time. So
Mm-hmm.
that kind of like makes it redundant. It doesn't matter for that sense. If anything, for the character now, the character knowledge, you're like, yeah, I know I play Guile, or I know I play this in a little more tech. But once again, Capcom be like, oh, you're doing this type of combo, and you're doing this illegally too. Oh, okay, cool. Well, guess what? This character ain't gonna have that move anymore, or this is not gonna have this and this anymore. And then the final build comes out, you try to do the same thing, and you're like, it ain't gonna work. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I mean, there was no way to stop it. People are gonna find many ways. It is like
Yeah.
it's as old as time itself. It's people will find many ways to assess it in ways that is not intended. But you know, I think them being aware pretty much is like, yeah, like I don't know. Those who assess the crack beta, I think they may have a slight advantage, but once again, things over time want to change up because what we may see is some of the same people who consistently do well and know how the system works and know everything about it before the
Mm-hmm.
release. They'll probably do well in tournaments, but over time, that was always going to happen in the modern day. There are going to be patches. There are going to be some system changes. There are going to be some new characters added that's going to shape up, change around a lot of things. And at the point, there's going to be a point where everyone starts to have to adapt, even those who assess it illegally. They may have an early advantage up to a certain point, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
After that, it's going to be where Capcom's like, all right, patching, add character, new this, new this, new this. And now it's like, okay, can you do the same thing like you did before? It ain't gonna work anymore.
I mean, it's nothing new. It's
Right,
it's
right, right.
not. It's. I mean, it's been. How many fighting games where people had early access to or got it three or four or even a month in advance.
Mm-hmm.
They were secretly playing it in the background, and they had access to that. So it's Capcom knew. Capcom knew people had the crack out there. And then they just want to wait it to like it's just an odd time for them to announce it because they want to try to put the blame after a post from Momochi talking about they should ban the players or something who has access to the crack or something, and I'm like, bro, Capcom knew people had the crack, man.
Mhm.
What you mean? How you think it got into the community? Yo? They knew that the scientists was gonna work on this. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying, and break it down and open it up and stuff. All I'm saying is, day one, Street Fighter Six, we playing the day one tournament or something. If I play DivineOne and he hits me with a 20-piece Kimberly combo, you know what I'm saying, I gotta report them. I gotta report this man.
You
I'm
gonna
reporting
get
this man
escorted?
to the feds. Yeah, I gotta report him to the feds, yo.
Yeah,
I'm like, look, he
Listen,
did it. He did it.
the
I saw him.
MIB,
He got access.
listen. When it comes to this whole situation with the cracked beta, right?
uh-huh.
Um, the concerns people have when it comes to, again, just to put this at the forefront of it, there is $1 million on the line, right?
Mhm. Mm.
People are gonna do whatever they can do to get to that bag, point blank, period. And people were playing the crack beta before they even announced that, as far as I can remember. But even now, they have all the more reason to, especially with there being no open beta, which we talked about a bunch of detriments to that already.
Correct. Mhm.
Now, when it comes to the advantage that people have, yes, being able to get familiar with this new system,
Mhm.
learn all the differences from Street Fighter Five, and just getting comfortable with the game and the characters, whether they're patches or not, there is an advantage. However,
Mhm.
that's not going to last long.
Right.
Mm-mm.
It's not going
Nope.
to last long. The game at its core is being developed to be a lot simpler and easier than previous iterations, and also a lot of the tech and the information that's being discovered by people who were playing the cracked beta, they're giving that to everybody else. So I'll say 85% just to be safe. I know people are holding on to tech, but 85% of the stuff that's being discovered by these players using the cracked beta is being given out for free to those who aren't anyway.
Right.
So when you gain access to the game, if that stuff still works, you already know about it because it's on Twitter already. It's been there for like 6 months. So it's benefiting everybody, those who are going to tournaments, those who aren't. Um, Now I don't feel like people who are playing the cracked beta are gonna just be placing in tournaments over people who weren't, because there's still gonna be a skill disparity. People learn at different speeds and all that.
Mhm.
Um, it's just gonna run out. Now, in regards to Momochi in particular, again, I see his concerns. There are people with that money on the line. There are people who are gonna do everything they can to get an advantage, and then there are gonna be people who can do everything they can to keep things fair. How that looks is dependent on the individual. Now, if we go back in history of Capcom games, the majority of
Mhm.
them, Street Fighter in particular,
Mhm.
Japan got those games first. They got the updates first. They were playing them
Mhm.
in arcades or at home.
Mm-hmm.
Much
Yep.
and we're talking final builds. We're not talking betas or demos. We're talking final
Yep. I
builds.
know exactly what you're
They're
talking about.
playing it before everybody else, right? Then they
Talk to
came
him.
to the US, played an Evo, and won. Like this happened. This has been happening for years. It's been happening for years, but it's a problem now because and you know what's crazy? The cracked beta is
Mhm.
available to anyone who has a computer.
Mhm.
Just go down. Let's go download it and play it. The game isn't on the arcade machine in the Japanese arcade. Like it's different. So when it comes to that level of like issue, saying who has access and who doesn't, I'm not buying it because one, it's been going on at a worse level and no one cared. Well, let me not say no one cared, but people had advantages and it was okay for those people to have that advantage. But now that the money's on the line, people want to like look at it a little bit differently. Now it's a different case. But it is what it is. The crack beta is an old build. It's already outdated per the demo. Um, the tech is out there for everyone to take advantage of and see. When the game drops, I'm sure there's not going to be a day one major for Street Fighter 6 where all the people who play in the crack beta can go in and just buy the people who didn't get to play it. There's going to be some time it's going
Be
to
right
pass
back.
for everyone to, no problem,
Mm-hmm.
for everyone to compile that information, go over it, test it, learn the game. They're gonna have that time period. So
Mm-hmm.
that advantage that they have or they're projected to have, in my opinion, isn't going to be that big of a deal.
That
Oh,
And just to add on that too, again, like you said, the gap will eventually close up within that month time because people are gonna be more hands on. They're going to go in and lab against characters and stuff and practice stuff. And certain combos that used to work won't work anymore. We already went over that. And even with this, the demo that we got, Luke has a new ender now to his target combo. He didn't have that in the beta version. So that when uh, when I saw that, I was like, okay, well, this lets me know that the final version is either going to be this one or something's going to change again. But regardless, within a month, that's a short time period. That's a short time period, um, and anything can happen within the next week. If they want to do an open beta next week, they could do an open beta next week. I just think that it's I do like that they took this approach to introduce the world tour mode, got the casuals in to get in and play and stuff. And, eventually that could translate over to a more competitive side. But I'm glad that they are pushing the single player content. Meanwhile, on the competitive side of things, things are kind of like looking a little shaky here with this whole beta talk. And oh, he had access, or this person had access to the beta. They're gonna win every single tournament that comes out for the game and stuff. And I'm like, nah. Is there gonna be a skill gap? Yeah, there'll be a skill gap, but eventually people are gonna catch up. They'll catch up real fast too, as well. You know, people have already taken time off from work and put in some days, and they want to go ahead and lab. They got a tournament next week in their local or something that they're gonna go to and compete, and that's what's gonna happen. So the people who are the hungriest lions eat first all the time.
I agree.
So who if you're willing to put in that work, you're gonna immediately see results, regardless of whomever has access to it. And like you said before, if people really wanted to, play Kimberly or Gao or Chun or whatever, they could actually do it right now if they wanted to. Since Capcom, quote unquote, put out that statement, saying that anybody gets caught streaming or whatever, playing it, or you gets caught streaming with the game, they'll be banned from CPT events and stuff. So it's just that's not gonna really do too much. But eventually, if somebody snitches on themselves, then it's on their fault. But regardless, I think the snitch memes was funny that people were putting out for it as a response. But yeah, man, that just goes to show the type of competitive drive that people are going to have for this game. In this, and they're addressing two different groups of people. The casual side and the competitive side. There are more casual players than there are competitive players. So those casual players can eventually come become competitive players because everybody didn't start off competitive. They started off as a casual. They wanted to see how the game is. Is the game accessible? Thank God it's nothing like Street Fighter Five was at launch. Because again, there was nothing to keep them from people from learning that game. You had to learn that shit the hard way. So, I'm glad that they're taking this approach to getting out, pushing the world tour content and create your avatar or whatever, go around beating up pedestrians and stuff, doing the story mode, having a good time,
Grand Theft Street
and
Fighter.
yeah, so there's definitely more casual players than competitive players for sure. So I'm really glad that Capcom is taking this approach. Again, I would like to see open beta to stress test everything
Hmm.
because I know that a lot of places are planning on doing like day one tournaments and doing online tournaments that weekend, and so uh, we'll see how that you'll see how it works out. But that's the worst fear of that day one server getting bodied. People can't log in and people getting disconnected mid match and stuff. That's one of the biggest fears, but hopefully, Capcom will address that. Retro, are you back with us?
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. All right. So before we move on out to our closing statements, Divine One, did you have anything you want to talk about?
Pertaining to like the beta and everything.
Oh, just anything in general you want to bring up, talk about.
Not really. I think we went over uh everything important. I guess I'd probably like to just reiterate something you said in regards to the importance of an open beta at some point before release. We don't have a lot of time left. Um, so if Capcom really is like invested in the game and they do feel like it's a problem with like the cracked beta and the illegal access or advantage that people have, if that's truly their stance, what they can do to somewhat remedy that is to release a public beta so everyone has at least some access. Of course, there's always going to be the people saying like, well, this person had access to it since then, but be a more up to date build of the game that everyone has access to, so they can play it at some point before release and again test those servers. So I do feel like they should do that. As it stands currently with the statement that they released, it's just a PR move. No
Mm.
one in their right mind is gonna say, "Hey, I'm playing the beta. I mean, the cracked beta right now. Hey, look at me." No one's gonna do that. Even if on a stream you see it on their computer, that's not enough because they said from that point forward they have to be playing it. So anyone who has evidence of it prior is perfectly fine. So
Hmm.
the damage is done already, and they're basically admitting that. They're just saying, yeah, don't get caught doing it anymore, which doesn't really do much when you have $2 million in the pot. But it
Mm.
is what it is. Again, I'm extremely excited for Street Fighter 6. I can't wait for the game to drop. A lot of positive changes being made by the game. The cast looks amazing, both returning and new. And I believe the game has a very very bright and interesting future. So just one more month to go.
Hmm.
There it is. There it is. Moving on, mosey on down. Down the road, the golden road into the six. Again, we blink and it's gonna be right there. So, Retro, I think we got a couple of more slides, and then we'll open up with like final statements there.
Absolutely.
Before we get out there. So let's see
Oh,
what the first slide we got going on.
I think something will come very soon. Oop, let me go mosey on to this guy. Wait, why the okay, give me 1 second. I hate when it does that.
The Barcelona and the Barcelona slide, and then the little Nitro.
The gummy slides, like
Yeah.
they just intertwine, like
Oh no, you good. Oh,
They coordinate so well.
no, you're good. Hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, we got a couple announcements, I believe. One's coming very soon, and there we go. Add this right quick.
Wasn't it in the meantime while Retro's getting that together? Um, PA, you did that. We talking about the day one Street Fighter 6 tournament that's being held in that's going down in Barcelona, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
yes, correct. So
That has been confirmed.
yes, so we went ahead and we gauged interest in a day one tournament for Street Fighter 6, just for fun. No real stakes or anything like that. Just like to break the game in the way we like to do things with smoke, of course.
Mm.
Um, and everyone was interested. So yes, we will be doing a day one tournament. It's gonna be streamed. I'm not sure of the time just yet. We're still trying
Hmm.
to like see what works out for everybody because there are a lot of people interested.
And,
So we're still
and
working out
anybody,
the kinks.
yeah,
Mhm.
anybody going 0 and 2 in that tournament will have to eat a gummy here.
Oh no.
Um,
No, no, I'm joking,
that's
joking, joking,
how it is in the tournament of the Power Series. But in this, nah, we're not gonna do that to nobody.
joking.
It's a brand new
False
game. People gotta
alarm.
learn. Yeah, yeah. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna chill a little bit for this one. But but just because you don't gotta eat a gummy for going 0 and 2, that doesn't mean you're not gonna have to hold that L and deal with it um going forward. Because
Uh,
people are still gonna use that against you if you go 0 and 2 in that tournament, day one or not. This is how we are. We're competitive. Like we push everyone to do better in every aspect, whether it's video games or life. We put that pressure on so you do better. So if you go 0-2, you're gonna have to hear it. You're gonna have to hold that L somehow. So
Damn, and you just get roasted for it too as well. You be like, bro, dang, you really went 0-2 in the first
yeah,
tournament?
yeah. You
Damn,
can't.
couldn't
We
be
can be
me.
having a conversation about anything. We could be talking about the last episode of Power, and you say something that someone don't like. Say, wait a minute, didn't you just go 0-2? Like, that's just how it goes.
And that
What?
had nothing to do with hell. You just bring
Nothing
it
to do
up
with
I'm
randomly,
done.
bro. You just like, yo, good
that's
morning. You see somebody say good morning, and you be like, hey, what you saying good morning for, yo? Did you go 0-2 yesterday?
yeah. You know what
Damn.
else? You know what you got in common with the word good? Two O's. That shit
You got
ridiculous.
two O's in there. Oh,
I'm
dude, yo.
done.
Ew.
He's like, you know what's not good? You going 0-2? Damn. That's messed up, bro. But yeah, that's just how it is over there, man, in the trenches, man. So
Hmm.
again, the public information for Barcelona may be available soon. You keep that up to date on that. Um, but yeah, let's talk about this event right here that we got going down. This is the last Street Fighter V tournament that's going to be ran by collaborating with Untamed Gaming that I'm doing with them. This is basically going to be a no V trigger allowed tournament here. So if you activate V trigger during a match, you automatically forfeit that round. You are allowed
Mm-mm-mm.
to use V shift and V reversal, but you cannot activate V trigger. So that is the gimmick of that tournament. $80 pot bonus already up there. And we already got a couple of signups. We'll get more, of course. It's going down this weekend, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, hosted on Untamed Gaming's Twitch channel.
Okay. Cool. And that's coming up very soon. You see it?
Yep. And that's the other one. Speaking of day one, well, this isn't exactly day one. See, Barcelona is doing a day one. This is more like a day three or something here. So it'll be that Sunday.
Okay.
And I think the Barcelona one will be on Friday. So this one is going to be a $300 pot bonus that's going down that Sunday at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time, hosted on Untamed Gaming 2's Twitch channel. There, as you guys see it, that'll be the first tournament for their season rankings on there. So yeah, there'll be plenty of events, man. So Capcom, please get that shit together with the servers. You know, throw that open beta out there. Stress test the networks. We got to make sure it's a well-tuned oiled machine, because outside of this event, there's gonna be plenty of other tournaments out there that's gonna try to run that weekend for sure. So hopefully it'll be smooth sailing, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, I we had our event from last time, last after the last episode, with a memorial tournament. The heads up that we raised, it was a memorial tournament for Domo Chaos, who passed away earlier this year, and we did a fundraiser for Mental Health America of Georgia. We raised nearly $200 for it, and I thank for everyone who came out to that event. Shout out to everyone who competed and everything. Definitely, but did offer a good cause, and definitely we'll reach out to Mental Health America. We might do something like this again because they be wanting to collaborate with us a little bit more. Of course, well, with that being said, we're on a little hiatus, but the only thing I would leave you guys with is that yes, season two of our Easy Kai circuit will be coming very soon. Start very soon. I would say at least it starts in June. So the best believe, obviously, Street Fighter Six will be featured as the main one of the main games for the tournament series. We also are looking at expanding a little bit to another area, so you have more places to go and more chances to get points. For those who do not know, we started a Middle Georgia circuit tournament circuit, and you go around areas, various areas and cities of the Middle Georgia area, and you compete in various tournaments in various games with a certain amount of points, and a certain amount was like top 15 we did last time will be qualified via points, and we'll have a last chance qualifier at during the finals. So usually we did it around July last year and ended back in June of March of this year at the Cherry Blossom. And of course, the finalists will compete for a good chunk of money. And of course, be at the nice, awesome venue. We're looking forward to have this happen again, and the details are still coming together as we speak. So that's all I can say about it for season two. It's gonna be bigger. It's gonna be a lot better for sure. So looking forward to it. That's pretty much it on my end.
All right. Well, there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed the enjoyed those quick announcements, real quick from the cast here. But once again, want to thank the Divine One, aka Phantom Angel, aka I don't know. This man has a lot of names, but look, I want to thank you, man, for dedicating your time on your off day to talk with us. Get your thoughts on things about like how you feel about the game and FGC in general. So I mean, I think it's a really good podcast episode today. So if you guys were just tuning in, arriving a little bit later than expected, this will be archived and uploaded to the Reboot Retrocade YouTube channel. SirRetro, he'll do like a premiere for the episode. Do a little more, even more fancier production on it. Put a little grease. What is it? Sugar,
Spice everything
butter.
nice.
You like yeah. Make the pie. Make dress it up, make it real nice
Hmm.
for you guys, man, and present that tomorrow so you can catch the first half of this. Time flew by, which I already knew what was gonna do. So we covered a lot of variety of different topics here, man. And the only thing left is to see how the game goes, right? See
Hmm.
how Street Fighter 6 goes. Street Fighter 5, we had it for 7 years. It came, it's gone. The streets are hungry for something new, and this is what we're getting right here. So, not to take anything away from 5. Again, 5 had a really rough start. It cleaned up towards the end, but the damage had already been done. People were already turned off on the game. Street Fighter 6 is looking a lot much better, much better. But again, we gotta get that open beta. We gotta stress test these servers because there are gonna be a lot of events out there that are gonna be trying to get ran that weekend. So we want to make sure things are smooth sailing. So with that being said, my only takeaway from tonight is going to be, just get ready, man. Just get ready. You blink your eyes, about 2 3 weeks, we're gonna be here for the game. Comes out on a Friday. Some people may have, get it. They'll have it like a week in advance or something. They got the plug to go through. So, um, we'll just see what happens when the game drops, man, and see how. I can't wait for the new rivalries, the new school of players coming in, especially the Xbox crowd, because though that's a brand new console to
Hmm.
be added into the mix, so that's even more players coming in. And we're just gonna see how everything just happens, just like a stew. Everything's just gonna come together. The ingredients are gonna blend together into the pot and make something magical. So we'll see what happens, man. But so retro, what you got for the final words?
Well, definitely. First of all, shout outs to ShadowAce for bringing me on board with the series. Definitely enjoying this. Shout outs to Barcelona slash New York in particular for our guests. DivineOne, thank you for coming out and blessing us with the awesome knowledge and good insight and perspective in the topics that we had at hand. Thank you for coming through, my guy. Shout outs to the Middle Georgia FCC as always, my family. Thank you so much, FCC Chris, Retro Woe, Chato, Joshua, many others who came through. Shout outs to the rest of the Barcelona, New York scene. I see you guys out there to Black Jaguar, Lord of Cringe, Sleepyhead Zombie Combo Night. Thank you guys for coming out and representing your scene and your boys. Great to talk to you guys in the chat. Hope to see you guys even more. Hopefully, when we get to visit New York, wherever you guys may be, look forward to play y'all and hang out and have some good times. So shout out to all y'all. Shout out to all my viewers. Shout out to Jack Knight, the guy who did our promotion for our excuse me for our podcast series. as you see here, shouts to him, did an amazing job. Definitely shouts to Thirsty Can, yeah, Thirst Daddy, and Buster Cannon, many others. Thank you guys for coming out. Of course, I'm super excited for Street Fighter 6. I've been playing the demo, trying to beat this computer at level 8. It's crazy. I love how they programmed it. Um, Looking forward to a lot. What about to happen? So yeah, thank you guys so much.
All right, DivineOne, what you got for us, man? Your closing statements.
Yeah, I just want to say again, thank you guys for having me. Retro Ace. It's my first time on a podcast, so and it was a great experience. Everything went smooth. We're able to talk about a lot of important things, and you know, get some things into the ether that needed to be said. So I appreciate the opportunity for that. Um, Ace, I'm still tight. You took so long to get one of us up here, but we can talk about that later.
Oh,
But yeah, I
well,
appreciate
wait.
you guys.
All right, now go ahead, finish. I'll wait till you done. I'll wait till you
Nah,
done.
I appreciate you guys. I'm not opposed at all to coming on another episode in the future. Just you guys know where to find me. Reach out, and yeah,
Look, man, look. Everybody's not built for the stage life, man. You know what I'm saying? I thought you'd been shy, nervous. The light would have been in your eye. You know what I'm saying? You had a doctor's appointment. I was fearing the worst, man. I was like, you know what? We need to make this Barcelona episode happen, man. Well, fortunately, we didn't get the full version because Killer was missing. Things had to be taken care of. So, hopefully, we get the run back. We'll get the run back maybe after. Let's say like a couple of months down the road, like from when 6 comes out, get the run back,
of course. Let me
the
know.
Barcelona run back
Yeah,
official. Let's
yeah.
shake.
Of course,
Shake.
like
Y'all put it in,
whenever
y'all
whenever
put it in
you're
the chat.
ready,
Y'all put it in the chat. Y'all put it
Yep.
in the chat.
do
Also,
We
we
gotta
got
make it
like
official.
a handshake?
Yeah, nah,
Just
just put shake, yo. Just type the word shake, yo. There
here
it
we go.
is. That's
what
it.
is this? This is like it's
Shouts.
like we playing Final Fantasy 14, just like doing emotes in the chat.
Yeah, there you go.
I guess.
Because I
Yep.
didn't know what the emote was for it, so I just put shake. I just
Nah,
put shake.
listen. Let me show you what the emote is for that. This is the emote for that.
Is that the? Oh no, you did not put the gummy in there,
That's the
yo.
emote.
No.
Nah, bro.
But shouts
Now
to
where Evernight at? Didn't Evernight say he want the smoke with the
Nah,
gummy?
Evernight said he wanted to find what the most sour thing was, and he mentioned the toxic waste. He wasn't talking about the actual like
Nah,
gummy
he
thing.
okay. So he didn't say he didn't want it. He didn't want war with the gummy. All right, bet.
Nah, nah.
We have to make sure. You got to make sure, yo, because again, it's not for the faint of heart. The gummy challenge, man. But
Mhm.
we,
Hey,
we we busted down the lore, man. I think we broke down the lore pretty good on that, and we got some Barcelona lore out there too as
yep.
well.
Shouts to y'all
So
worldwide, international as well.
it
I
is,
forgot
man.
that.
So we out, yeah. You guys are out here, man. There you guys have it. We'll get this. We'll talk about the run back episode in the future. But for now, GG's. Thank you all so much for tuning in, man. Appreciate that support. Shouts to DivineOne. Shouts to SirRetro, all the viewers and supporters, the lurkers. I see y'all lurkers in there. Y'all don't say nothing. Y'all don't even put an emote in the chat. But I know y'all out there. I know it. I can see it. I can smell it. I know it's out there, yo. So, appreciate y'all, man. You guys have a great night.